Hey everyone, it's Paolo. Okay, I am so excited because today I am going to be talking with the beautiful and super talented Mandy Moore. I have been waiting for this and I cannot wait. Now she is reunited with her co-stars from This Is Us, Sterling K. Brown and Chris Sullivan in a new podcast called That Was Us, and it's really good. So I'll see you guys with Mandy.
Spoonful of Paolo, here we go.
Are you good, Patrick? Okay. Mandy, I have to tell you, I am so honored to have you on A Spoonful of Paolo. I know I said this to you before, I'll say it again. So everyone who's watching and listening, this is such a dream moment for me and my husband and this show because you are a dream guest. I have so much love and respect for you. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you. Oh my gosh, I'm honored to be here.
Yeah, thank you. And I want to say congratulations on your podcast, That Was Us.
Thanks.
Have to tell you, I am so happy that Chris Sullivan, who played Toby, went to Sterling K. Brown, who played Randall. Then they came to you and say, let's do this podcast because it is so much fun to listen to it every single week. I love that you guys go back and rewatch these episodes and we do the same thing. It's just, I love it, really.
Thank you. It's been a real labor of love. I mean, the show meant so much to so many people, but specifically, selfishly, it meant so much to us that those of us that were lucky enough to be a part of it. And I think it's been done now for a little over 2 years, and we missed each other and missed having the connection with folks that really love the show, and missed the connection. Like I think when the show was airing, we were so sort of in we were in the flow of just like moving from episode to episode and could almost like barely catch our breath, that we weren't able to have the kind of in-depth conversations and deep diving into what these episodes were talking about and what these characters were going through in the way that we would have liked, So it's doing this podcast and rewatching the show with folks and hopefully having them rewatch along with us is giving us an opportunity to just like have a more in-depth conversation about these characters and these storylines and how we all relate to them. And, for Chris and I specifically too, like we both weren't parents when we started the show and became parents over the course of those, 7 years. And so being able to rewatch the show through that lens as well and be able to speak to the choices my character makes, his character makes, and just how much we're learning, I think, as well. Like being in this completely new space in our lives has been a real revelation for us.
Well, let me tell you, because this is your first time on our show, that the way you played Rebecca Pearson, like from the age of 16 to in her 80s, I mean, you did it perfectly. No other actress could have played her the way you did. And I am so glad we got to see, the young Rebecca, the middle age, the older one, because you really were perfect. I mean, we watched all, like, obviously 6 seasons, and every time we watched like everyone else, you just cried because you were just so good. You rewatching these episodes now, going back for the podcast, and you see yourself transform into this powerful and creative and beautiful soul. What does that feel like for you seeing that? Because now you're watching it as the viewer, because when you're in it, and you would, but now it's been some time. So what's that been like?
It's hard to I don't know how you feel about it, but like I find it really hard to watch myself or hear myself. It makes me cringe.
Yes.
And so we watched the show while it was on, but I think I was able to sort of like shy away from like really locking into myself because it's an ensemble. It's truly an ensemble, and there's so many incredible, like everyone's performance is incredible, and you're so captivated and so sort of like drawn in by all of these different stories and scenarios and whatnot. I think what feels different rewatching it and going back again is just like is from this new lens as a parent, and some of the things I think I struggled with as just a human with some of the choices that Rebecca made as a mother. I have a lot more compassion and understanding for her now, being a parent. I'm like, I get it. You are like, it's still challenging for me to wrap my head around the idea that this mother just like wouldn't allow her child to have a relationship with their biological father and to keep that information from him. It's still hard to digest that one, but I think I understand her perspective way more being a parent now. I mean, we're still in the first season, so I think we have such a distance to go. So I'll report back on how it feels to continue on that journey and watching myself, but it's still pretty cringy.
Oh, I mean, you did it. I mean, honestly, you did it. And no
thanks.
one else could have done that but you. So I just say I salute you and I thank you so much. Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That means so much. Thank you.
Yeah. I think what people don't know is that there was a time before This Is Us where you were trying. You had 4 pilots. I think it was a year after year after year. But you kept going. You kept going. What was it you think that kept you going? Because you could have easily have given up and said, you know what, after that 4th pilot said, I'm done, go back home or whatever, but you didn't give up. And it's just so inspiring. So what was it in you said, you know what, I'm going to keep doing it?
Good gracious. I mean, there certainly is a bit of craziness, I think, involved being in this industry, choosing this profession. There's some true insanity involved because you just face so much rejection. I don't care what level you may find yourself at, how long you've, been at it. I'm incredibly lucky. I've been doing this since I was 15, and I have found success and found longevity, and I'm 40, so to be able to say that I have done this now for 25 years is just a remarkable feat in my book. It's kind of all I ever wanted. But sure, I mean, I think for anybody, you have to recognize that there is going to be an ebb and flow to life, to professional choices, and you have to sort of ride the roller coaster. I think before This Is Us came into my life, as you mentioned, it started with taking like a concerted step away, and sort of concentrating on devoting my time to like my private life and my personal life and being married and everything that sort of went along with that. And when that wasn't as fruitful as I hoped it would be, I kind of wanted to turn my attention and my energy back to work again. And I found that sort of restarting that machine or finding different opportunities again was challenging. And I felt like I was just sort of hitting brick wall after brick wall. And it was really disheartening. It was soul crushing to get your hopes up thinking like, okay, this wave is going to crest and this project's going to be the thing that takes me into the next chapter. And you get so sort of caught up in that expectation and it doesn't come to fruition. And that happened, like you said, I think for like over a 4-year period of time. It was like, cool, pilot season is fruitful again. And then nothing ever ended up happening with it. And I guess sort of leaned on the idea of like, well, maybe this is the universe trying to tell me that I am incredibly grateful for the opportunities that have come my way, but maybe it's time to sort of pack it up and sort of pivot and focus my attention on something else. And but I also think like at the end of the day, I had this nagging feeling in my gut of like, this is all I've ever wanted. This is the only thing I've ever dreamed of. And I have, somehow surpassed every single odd and found myself in this position with like this incredible fortune. Like I can't give up. Like what else truly would I do? And how, there's nothing else I derive the same kind of passion from. So I sort of just like kind of stuck it out and was patient and tried to believe that like the next opportunity was around the corner, and it was. I think it coincided with a time in my life where I finally chose myself, and I really did a lot of soul searching and a lot of hard work to sort of focus back on myself again. And so to me, it was no surprise that as soon as I kind of did that, the sun came back out again. And, I happened to land something that changed everything.
I think you always had it in you because that little girl who grew up in Orlando, I know that, before school on Friday mornings, you would call the audition hotline in your local paper and you would jot down things that you thought were best fit for you. And like, oh, I think this would be a good role for me. And, but when you think about, you say the 25 years, like you being Emmy nominated actress, pop star, movie star, TV star, a producer, a director, a Disney princess. What would that 12-year-old girl who was there, writing some notes for her, what would be a good role? What would she say about these last 25 years? And what do you think she would say, you did that? Like that one specific thing, you did it.
I think she would be mind blown because I didn't know that one could have the ability to dream this big. I was so deeply satisfied with doing local community theater in Orlando. Like if I could have done that for the rest of my life, that would have just been the top, like, you know what I mean? The very, very top that it was everything to me. I think like the idea of, doing Broadway one day, or that was I would say that was sort of the ultimate dream of mine. I was like, if I can ever say that I've made it, it will have been because I was able to sort of reach the heights of Broadway. And so I kind of like, that was the ultimate dream. And I looked to people like Bette Midler. To me, I was like, oh, that's an incredible career. Like she does movies, she does Broadway, she does television, she has a recording career, she tours, and she was iconic on her own terms. She was just like, I just thought such a unique performer. But again, it was like, that was not in the realm of possibility for me. So I feel like 12-year-old little Mandy would just be mind blown at everything that I've had the good fortune to do. Because I grew up specifically, I think, watching Disney movies and singing along to The Little Mermaid and Beauty and the Beast and Aladdin, the idea that I would have, my own little piece of Disney lore and legacy, being a Disney princess, I think would probably completely freak out the 12-year-old version of me.
Oh my God. And speaking of the 25 years, I was just thinking, because I know next month in August is when you released your single Candy, when you released it.
Oh my gosh.
It's going to be 25 years in August.
That's crazy.
And then in your last tour that you did in 2022 for your latest album In Real Life, which is so good, you sang Candy at your shows, and people went crazy.
Oh, yeah.
They went crazy. And for me, I know a lot of gay men my age. We take our pop music very seriously, and you are always going to be royalty. You will be royalty always. But having that community there for you, supporting you since day one, and still there on this amazing journey you've been having, what does that make you feel? Does that scare you? Does that make you feel loved? Does that surprise you? What does that make you feel like?
It's the greatest honor of my life, truly. I'm so unbelievably blown away by the love and the adulation and the respect and the fact that the LGBTQ plus community has sort of always been by my side. I will always be by your side. It's the honor of a lifetime, truly. If I could just continue making art for the community, I would. The loyalty knows no bounds. I'm floored. I'm floored that songs like Candy and some of the other pieces of, whether they're films and stuff that I have been a part of still are held in such high regard. It's the ultimate. I mean, I think all you ever want as someone in the creative field is to make work and make art that resonates with people and, in some way stands the test of time. And so if anything that I've ever been a part of does for anybody, it's just like, again, that's the greatest gift. That's all you could really ever ask for.
Oh, well, you're the greatest gift for all of us, really. I know I speak for everyone. You really are, okay? We had tickets to see your last concert here in Chicago, my husband and I, but in 2022. But for very good reasons, it had to be canceled because you were pregnant with your second child, Ozzy. So how exciting. But it was going to be my dream, Mandy Moore, just to hear you do this.
Sorry.
It's okay, but it was going to be my dream just to hear you do the spoken word section of Candy. So, Mandy,
we will do it again. I promise.
Can you just say that one line in the spoken word section of Candy? Do you want to just?
You know who you are. Your love's as sweet as candy. I'll be forever yours. Love always, Mandy.
Look, if you said no, Mandy, we're going to cut that part out, just so you know, because you did not have to do it, okay? But, when, oh my God, when Vanessa Williams sang me Save the Best for Last, I thought that it was going to be my tombstone. This will be my tombstone. So thank you so much. I love you so much. Thank you.
Oh my gosh, God. No. Go with Vanessa Williams.
No.
Yes.
Okay. Look, what is so crazy about Candy is because because I remember you say you watched a music video of NSYNC, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and then literally 6 months later, there you are opening up for NSYNC, and then later on you're opening up for Backstreet Boys in front of 20,000 people. At that time, were you like, oh my God, this is my freaking life? Or were you just thinking of the next project, and just being in the moment? What was that like for you?
I think a little bit of both. I think I was simultaneously just flabbergasted at how quickly my life had shifted, but I was also really grateful. I was appreciative, and just sort of had my professional hat on and was like, okay, cool. What's next? I'm ready. I'm ready for it. I'm excited and just open to whatever, the next chapter has in store for me. So it was kind of a combo of all of those things. And it's funny though. I think back to that time and I'm like, it truly does feel like it happened to a different person.
Yeah.
It's a movie that I saw once and it's ingrained in my memory or something somehow. I feel so, I can connect back to that 15-year-old version of myself, but it also just feels like so many lifetimes ago. It's strange. I mean, think back to when you were 15 or 16. Yeah. It's like we're just entirely different beings,
Yeah.
But very grateful for all those wild memories.
I know, look, in our career, sometimes we just need that one person to give us that push in our career. And for me, that one person was Oprah Winfrey, who literally changed my life. But for you, it was someone kind of special too. It was a FedEx delivery guy named Victor Cade, who literally heard you sing in the studio at that moment. And then he took that demo and gave it to a friend, someone who knew someone who knew someone, and it got to Epic Records. And it changed your life. Because that's all you need is one person, that one person. And when you think about that, just being in the studio, being in that moment, and then he comes there and this all happens, what goes through your mind? You're like, wow, I can't believe, if I wasn't there at that time, who knows where my life, what direction it would have gone.
Yeah, I always think of the sliding doors moment, down the line, but certainly in that particular moment for sure. He did me an incredible favor. I'm sure he probably had no idea at the time either that it would transpire into what it became. But I feel so fortunate that I've had a few of those moments, and in the not too distant past, Dan Fogelman, for instance, who was the creator of This Is Us, did the same thing. It's he gave me permission to play this character, to take on this challenge that I didn't even know I would be capable of. And somehow he saw something in me and believed in me and gave me this opportunity, and it changed my life as well again. So I feel like I can look back to very specific moments over the past 25 years and can recognize when certain people have given me, the thumbs up to that in ways that unimaginably just changed the course of everything.
It certainly did. You know, growing up, you went to a school that had music and drama programs, and you remembered every year the sixth graders, they would put on a different musical play. And you remember when you were in first grade, the sixth graders at the time, they put up Oklahoma. And you say that you were mesmerized by the girl who played Lori, who sang "Oh, What a Beautiful Morning." That you told yourself, when I'm going to be in sixth grade, I'm going to be the lead of that show. And guess what, y'all? You did that in Guys and Dolls. I think you were the lead in Guys and Dolls, right?
I was Miss Adelaide.
I love that so much. I mean, that determination, because I know you love Bette Midler, but did your mom and your dad, did they just inspire you, or Bette Midler? Because, you know, you're only in first grade, and to tell yourself that when I'm gonna be in sixth grade, I'm gonna be the lead, and when you get to sixth grade, you are, that's a determination that either you have it in you or you have to work at it, but you had it in you ever since you were a little girl.
I guess it's strange because my parents, although incredibly supportive, are not remotely artistic. So I'm not sure where the desire to be creative, to want to sing and act and everything that sort of goes along with it, where that came from. It was certainly not something I inherited. It's not a family thing. It's not a family trait. But yeah, I was self-possessed. I was so determined. It's like you mentioned earlier, you know, I would wait for that audition hotline every Friday before school and kind of try to suss out what opportunities may be awaiting someone my age, whatever parts, and if they were in, you know, at a theater that felt like it was somewhat feasible for my parents to, you know, schlep me to for rehearsals and auditions and all of that. So it was just something that was like a burning desire in me. And I'm not quite sure where it came from, but I think it's, you know, it's what I've always kind of leaned on, especially in those times where self-doubt enters the equation.
Yeah. I think you went to school up until your freshman year, right before Christmas break, because then you worked on your first album, so you were homeschooled. But you went back to school for one event. I think that was for homecoming. And that day you went to use the washroom, you were in the stall, and then some girls came in there and they were saying mean things about you. Did that moment, you overhearing that, did that hurt you? Did that make you stronger? Did that prepare you for what was about to come your way? You know, what was that moment like for you?
Gosh, you've really done all your research. I'm so impressed. I feel like it solidified the idea that maybe I didn't need to go to more school events. As sad as that makes me to say, I was like, you know what, I will hang out with my friends outside of school situations, because it made me feel awful. It was like my biggest fear realized. I think I really struggled, especially as a young person and being of high school age specifically. When I left school, I was very determined for people to not really know what was going on. My biggest fear was that people would think that I somehow thought I was better than them, that I had myself on some pedestal, and that I, you know, felt like I was bragging about my life or whatever was sort of unfolding and transpiring. And so I almost to my own detriment, kept that part of my life really quiet. And a few people knew why I was leaving school that year, you know, Christmas break of freshman year, but most people didn't. So much so that the teachers would call my name and roll for the next couple of months. And a few of my friends would be like, she's not enrolled here anymore. She left. She's, you know, making an album or something. No one quite understood. But yes, going to that homecoming dance and something out of a rom-com, hearing these, you know, girls talk crap about me in the bathroom, I was like, okay, I think I'm good. I had this experience. I could check that off the list, and now I will hang out with my friends at the mall or, you know, at the movie theater or something, and not on school premises or school situations.
Well, all those teachers and those girls in the bathroom, I mean, they look at your career, just you doing all the movies, you know, some of the movies, you know, Because I Said So, Chasing Liberty, Saved, A Walk to Remember, Princess Diary, hello, Disney's Tangled. But when you look at all that, which one of those movies are really near and dear to you, would you say? Because you've done so many.
I mean, different projects for different reasons. Obviously, A Walk to Remember has a huge amount of significance and resonance in my life. Just, it was sort of the first leading role that I had, and that movie still, folks seem to really care for it still 20 plus years later. And it means a lot, and like new generations continue to find that movie. I love Saved. I love Because I Said So.
Oh, yes.
I mean, Diane Keaton is a hero, and so the chance to work alongside of her was absolutely incredible. I mean, I feel like there was always something to learn from every project. There was a reason to be involved in everything, even the things that will remain unmentioned.
Yeah.
There was a reason going into it, even if it doesn't come to fruition in the way that you had hoped.
I love that. You know, for me too, A Walk to Remember, I always say it's one of those movies, for me, that was a time when I came out to myself, then later to my family. And so it just had a huge impact on me, because I felt like every time I would watch that movie, I felt like I was able to be me and just get what I could from that movie, and the Lizzie McGuire movie with Hilary Duff, because those two movies for me have always stood with me, just the coming out years and feeling safe and feeling like I could be myself, whether I'm crying watching your movie or laughing watching Lizzie McGuire or whatever it is. So I just say thank you so much.
I love that.
I say thank you so much. And you know, Hilary Duff has been a guest so many times on our show. I love her. She's a sweet soul, so talented, so kind. I know she's a good friend of yours. What is it you love the most about Hilary Duff, would you say?
I mean, I met Hilary and know her in the context of being a mom.
Yeah.
She's just truly the ultimate mom. She's heroic. I have her on such a pedestal. I love her deeply. Her and her husband are very, very dear friends of ours. I feel lucky that she came into my orbit when she did, because I really, really leaned on her so much as a parent. She's just wonderful. She's the greatest.
Oh, that makes me so happy. You know, earlier you talked about my last question. You said that you put yourself first, and I was thinking, in these, like, let's say last 9 years of your life, you know, you met your husband, Taylor, you guys got married. I think you're gonna be celebrating your 6-year anniversary this November. You're about to have your 3rd child. You have co-written and produced 2 albums with your husband. You were on one of the biggest shows in America. You now have this podcast, That Was Us. I do wonder how that must feel for you when you say you put yourself first and you're in this where you are right now in this moment, and you've done so much and you're able to be you. Do you give yourself and say, wow, like, Mandy, like, I did that. I put myself first, and I've created this, and it's pretty magical, wouldn't you say, to be in that space where you want to be?
That's incredibly kind of you. Yeah, I feel like I'm, especially over these last few years since parenthood entered the equation, I'm a much better advocate for myself. Because I want to be an advocate for my family. I think I'm much less of a people pleaser. I find it so much more comfortable to say no to certain things that I think in another lifetime I just would have said yes, because it would have been easier. So that's incredibly kind of you. I think I am better at acknowledging, like, wow, and the milestone of turning 40 and sort of the reflection back on the last like few decades and what I've been lucky enough to have under my belt. Like, I am proud, and I will give myself a pat on the back. There's still so much more I want to do, but I think the wisdom and clarity that comes with age is something you can't discount, and I'm looking forward to using that as I move forward.
This is why I love you. This is why I got my Mandy Moore rainbow pin. It's on this side over here. This is from your website. Oh, it's over here. What's on the other side? Because the camera's on this. Yeah, it's over here.
Thank you.
Yeah, I got you over here with your name, and then right below is my mom. She passed away 2.5 years ago, so I have a pin of my mom and I right below the rainbow. So yeah. Look,
I'm honored.
I'm honored to have you in our show. You know, watching you those 6 seasons and This Is Us, and listening to the podcast now, I can't tell you how much my husband and I love it. I love in the podcast, you guys have a section at the end where, you know, people can email or call in and share their story, you know, what they related to. I love listening to that, you know, because I think of myself watching your show. You know, my mom and I, we would talk about it, you know, and then unfortunately she had passed away before the final season. But it's just, you brought so much joy and love and I say thank you from all of us.
You're making me cry now.
Sorry.
I'm an emotional pregnant person.
I know you are, so I don't want you to cry. Okay.
Oh man, that truly means everything. And I'll just say, like, it's the reason it's a thing we love most about doing the podcast. And I think the thing that's been the most surprising to us is being able to connect with people, because the show is sort of a guidebook, a manual on how to be human and how to live life and how to make choices. And you see people making mistakes and being fallible, and but being decent and trying their level best to do the best for themselves and their family and whatnot. Yeah. So being able to hear from real people that watch the show and it affected them and it changed them, and it truly is the reason we're doing it. So Thank you. That means more than you will ever know.
You're welcome. Okay, this is how we want to end it, because we've never done this on our show. What we want to do for you, Mandy Moore, because you are so special, is that we're throwing you a Zoom baby shower. Okay, this is for you. We're not in a pandemic, but you're there, we're here. So this is our way of saying how much we love you. We're excited for you, okay? And we got this, and then we got you a cake that I'm gonna eat in honor of you and your family. So we got you a cake right over here, okay?
Oh, that looks delicious.
Yes. And then
I hope you guys dig in and enjoy after that.
Well, we're gonna share with our neighbor. She's pregnant, so we're gonna tell her to come over. But there ain't no baby shower if you don't get a gift. So we had to get you something special, okay? Okay. So my husband and I, Patrick and I, we went shopping, and we got you something from here, this store, Mr. Gucci, okay, for your little one. Now I'm gonna open it, and then I'm gonna get this sent over to you, okay? I hope you like it.
What? This is crazy.
Okay, so we went shopping, we saw these, and we thought this would look so beautiful on your little one. So we got you these little Gucci shoes for your little one.
Are you kidding? Oh, that is unbelievable. By the way, that is the nicest thing anyone has ever done.
What? Get out of here.
Thank you.
Yeah, so we got you, that's just for your little one.
Oh my God, I can't even. By the way, you understand, this is the first thing. This is the very first thing that she has. I haven't bought anything for her. So it's coming from you. I'll have to tell her when she arrives in the world. Like, this was the very first thing that was purchased for you.
Well, you tell her, your gunkles in Chicago, they love you even before you were even born. We love your mom. We love your husband. We love the other two as much too. So it's just our way of saying we're just so happy for you. To see you.
So sweet.
Well, to see you in a space where you are truly happy and you deserve all of this, with your career and your family. I mean, that's just pure joy and pure love. So I'm just so happy for you. I'm so happy for you. Me watching that girl who was 15 years old singing her song, and then you doing your movies at 22, 23. It's just, there's nothing better. And you have been an inspiration in my life. You've been an inspiration to LGBTQIA community. And I know I speak for everyone, especially me, when I say thank you, Mandy Moore. Thank you so much.
Thank you for saying all of that. Thank you for having me today and having this conversation. It means the world.
You're welcome. Okay, so happy shower. I hope you enjoyed your party, girl.
I am floored.
Okay, then I'll talk to your team. We'll get this sent right over to you. And from Patrick and I to Spoonful of Power, Mandy Moore, thank you so much, okay?
Thank you. Go enjoy that cake for me, please.
Okay. Come say goodbye, Patrick. Yeah. Thank you.
Bye, Patrick. Thank you guys so much. This was such an honor.
Thank you for the interview.
Anytime. I'm honored. Thank you for having me.
All right. Bye, Mandy.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye. Bye.